down very close to Iranian airspace. Now this is a huge claim being made that Iran has targeted the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier with 4 ballistic missiles. Remember that Iran, Vishnu, has been carrying out this threat for the last few days. As a matter of fact, Iranian press services and agencies have been putting out social media posts and statements saying that the biggest symbol of American expeditionary power will be a sitting duck in the face of anti-ship ballistic missiles that Iran has been developing precisely for this purpose. Now, no statement so far from the US Navy or the US Central Command at this time, Vishnu, but we're waiting on something like that right now.
Well, it's difficult to say whether they will be responding, but there should be a clarification because this claim, which is now on official Iranian media, is very, very serious. It's 2 carrier battle groups which form the heart of the American naval firepower deployed in the Persian Gulf at this stage. There's a 3rd aircraft carrier deployed off Iran in the Mediterranean. Important to understand that an aircraft carrier like this, which has 85 to 90 aircraft on board, several squadrons of fighter jets such as the F-35, the EF-18 or the F-18 Super Hornet, it doesn't float alone. It's got a carrier strike force, often a Ticonderoga class cruiser, 2 or 3 Arleigh Burke class destroyers. Each of these are capable of intercepting incoming ballistic missiles and other missiles. That's easier said than done. Targeting information is very critical. How has Israel managed to target this moving platform? Is it receiving assistance, for example, from Chinese satellites? These are larger questions that need to be asked.
Very, very important questions that need to be asked at this point of time. Yusuf Jalali, who is a journalist live from Tehran in Iran, joins us at this time. Yusuf, it's been an incredible day right now. The Iranian government has put out images of what it says is an MQ-9 Reaper drone of the United States forces that it has shot down. The Mars agency now talking about 4 ballistic missiles launched at the Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier. Anything more you can tell us? Have they put out any more details than that?
Well, of course, this new development flips the script in this ongoing war between Iran and the United States, and of course, between Iran and Israel. We just heard it from the state broadcaster IRIB. They said that the IRGC told them that they had shot and fired 4 ballistic missiles towards the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier. And this has, but of course, they did not provide any details or information regarding whether or not those missiles have been able to hit or destroy that vessel. And they said that the updates would follow soon. So we have to keep an eye on the updates coming in from the IRGC. But of course, this has been a strategy by the Islamic Revolution Guards Corps before the eruption of the war. They have said on multiple occasions, saying that they would use a tactic called asymmetrical warfare, meaning they saturate the enemy targets with countless missiles and drones, and in this case, submarines and torpedoes at the same time, to try to saturate the defense systems or confuse the defense systems. And this is apparently what is going on right now.
Well, the key point that needs to be mentioned is that you don't need to necessarily sink an aircraft carrier. It is extremely difficult to do, almost theoretical, given the defenses that it has. But incapacitating it or making it ineffective for military operations is something that is easier to do. For example, if the catapult launch system doesn't function, then a large number of jets on board will not work. So that is something that will be a major concern. If indeed it is true, we could as easily have a statement from the Americans denying it altogether. But this comes on a day when we have seen visual evidence of strikes taking place in Israel. We've seen strikes taking place in Dubai and in other areas. But at the same time, hundreds of interceptions of incoming Iranian drones and ballistic missiles. This battle of attrition is continuing. Today on day 2, there is absolutely no let-up at all in this situation. Also, we can tell you that there has been a tragic loss of life in Israel. Israel says that Iran directly fired missiles towards the civilian neighborhood of Beit Shemesh, killing civilians. Reports suggest at least 9 people have been killed in that attack. Let's have those videos up of Beit Shemesh, please. That's the area which has been struck. The Iranian ballistic missile impact in Beit Shemesh directly struck a bomb shelter in the region. Let's please bring up that footage.
We've got those pictures on air.
It's absolutely critical. The video shows debris and collapsed roofs as citizens fled that area. Earlier on, there was a sense that, it was restricted to 2 or 3 people, but ultimately at least 6 people, in fact at least 8, have been killed in this particular area. Some reports suggest that it could in fact be an underground shelter. The other big news that we've been tracking is that the Israel Defense Forces have released fairly striking drone footage showing the Israel Air Force striking targets deep inside Tehran, what it calls strategic sites of the Iranian terror regime. Over the past day, the military says its jets have conducted large-scale strikes aimed at establishing aerial superiority and paving the way towards the Iranian capital, with explosions seen across central Tehran in the video. If we can have that video up of those strikes which have taken place in Tehran, that'll give our viewers an idea of what exactly it is that we are talking about. Okay, we'll take the Beit Shemesh on your screen right now. We'll have the videos of the Israeli strike.
Vishnu, I just want to share I want to jump in for a second to tell our viewers that while we are reporting that the Iran government has put out information through its agency that they've launched 4 ballistic missiles at the USS Abraham Lincoln, the US Central Command has just put out information to say that an Iranian Jamaran-class corvette was struck by US forces during the early hours of Operation Epic Fury, which means Saturday morning. The ship is currently sinking to the bottom of the Gulf of Oman at a Chabahar pier. As the president said, members of Iran's armed forces, IRGC and police must lay down your weapons, abandon ship. This is an official tweet that's come in on social media from the US Central Command. I want to show our viewers some defining images. Vishnu, I'm going to get you to try and see if you can collect some information about that. We'll try and get some pictures. I'm going to ask our producers to try and plant some pictures for us from social media of that and see if the Central Command has done that. But I want to show you what the big defining images of the moment currently are. Take a look at these defining images. Israel says Iran directly fired missiles towards the civilian neighborhood of Beit Shemesh that Vishnu just mentioned, killing civilians. Reports suggest at least 9 people have been killed when Iranian ballistic missiles landed in this city in Israel. 9 casualties, says Israel. Defining image number 2.